be seated. Thank you very much, Mr. Miraj. And I just wanted to acknowledge that the national anthem was sung by one of our Flow colleagues. Her name is Tamara Cheetah. She did a really good job. Thank you very much, Tamara. Okay. Mr. Surijath Mahabir, President of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, and other members of the executive of the Secondary Schools Cricket League. Ms. Cindy Ann Gatt, Director of Marketing for Flow. We also have Darren Ganga, Anisa Mohammed, and I just wanted to acknowledge as well Dinanath Ramnarain, current and former cricketers for the West Indies cricket team and also for Trinidad and Tobago. Students and teachers of schools from the Secondary Schools Cricket League, and my colleagues from Flow, members of the media. Thank you very much for coming this morning, and a good morning to all of you. I know some of you all know me. I know some of the media faces I know, but I know my faces are new to a lot of people here, so I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Samantha Lazama, and I'm Consumer Communications Manager with Flow Trinidad. I really want to thank everyone this morning for taking the time to come out and join us at this press conference, at which we're announcing Flow as one of the new corporate sponsors for the Secondary Schools Cricket League. I know that we have people here present from schools all over Trinidad and Tobago. I know people came from outside of Port of Spain, and I know how that traffic can be. I myself was up at 4 o'clock to get in here on time. So I really appreciate everyone coming. I've been at Flow for about 3 years now, and in that time we've announced several sporting partnerships that pertain to football, track and field, volleyball, and rugby. I'm really familiar with the first three, and I'm on acquaintance terms with rugby. And when people ask me about cricket, I tell them it's like a love affair that went really bad. I had a really bad breakup, and since then, I keep my distance. I just kind of, peep in to see how things going ever so often, and then I trot along. So I guess I'd be a fair weather fan. But today is particularly noteworthy, especially for schools cricket, which is so significant because this is where talent is honed and the passion for cricket is cultivated. And what is an athlete if not the best outcome of talent, passion, and drive? So it gives me great pleasure to shepherd you through our little morning soiree. And it's very special as well because it's just outside the windows and the walls of this President's Box is the Queen's Park Oval, and nothing connects you to this sport, I think, and to cricket, especially nothing like the history of it. And the Queen's Park Oval is a big part of that. So I just want to thank you all very much for coming, and we'll get right into the program. I'd like to invite Mr. Surjdath Mahabir. He's the current president of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, and he's going to deliver the welcome address to you this morning.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Ms. Cindy Ann Gatt and our friends at Flow, the executive of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, our specially invited guests, Ms. Anisa Mohammed and Mr. Darren Ganga, and we also expect Ms. Brittany Cooper to join us shortly. To members of the media, again, I'm very pleased to see you here. You have always treated us well, and we are more than happy with you here this morning. To our dear students, welcome to a new edition in the life of the Secondary Schools Cricket League. Let me say how proud and extremely delighted the Secondary School Cricket League family is to welcome Flow with us on our journey to take you, our students, to greater heights, not only in your education, but in your sporting career, in this case, cricket in particular. For the media, in case you are wondering, we have not lost PowerGen. They are still with us. But Flow is with us now and will be, starting in the next 3 years. And we hope 25 years from now, they will still be with us. But we have separate competitions and separate programs. So while we'll have two sponsors, what we'll want from the media is that you work with us. You have gotten accustomed to a certain branding of secondary school, and we need to rebrand in terms of what we are about in our competitions and our programs. Specifically, Flow will be focused, the sponsorship of Flow will be focused on the boys under 14 division, where we'll have development and competition. The girls lower division forms 1 to 3, where again, we'll have a huge role in development as well as competition. For 3 years now, we have started in secondary school, and we have struggled to keep it going, really struggled financially with a girls' hardball competition, an inter-zone competition. Finally, the girls can look forward this year to a sponsor for that girls' hardball competition. So it will be the Flow Girls Secondary School Girls Hardball Competition. And this is one area that we intend to focus a lot on. In addition, part of the money will be spent on our technical analysis program. It's something we started 2 years ago. What it is, for those of you, a lot of you should know, we do videotaping of particular players and games. We then get, with the cooperation with Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, we get coaches to look at the videos, look at the games, do analysis, and then we pass the information back to the coaches of the respective schools or the team so they can work with it to assist their players to improve. We recognize that the Flow brand is different from what we had with PowerGen. It's a more competitive brand, and therefore we will need a secondary school to ensure that the money that Flow spent is well spent, and that the Trinidad and Tobago public, if possible, the Caribbean and the wider world, recognizes the great effort and the amount of money Flow is putting into our secondary schools cricket league. And we want that to be identified and to reach the wider public. So I've not even discussed this part with Flow, but what we are going to do as well, out of the same funding, don't worry, Ms. Scott, for now, is we are going in each zone to have a senior division, which is under 19, T10 competition. Because in addition to the girls' finals being telecast live, the T10 competition will also provide opportunities for live radio and television broadcasts so that we can get more marketing and more brand name and more opportunities for Flow to actually reach out there to the public. Because a lot of times cricket, well, it has changed in the last 3 years since I've been president. I can see that. Cricket was played with the 2 teams playing, especially school cricket, and nobody watching. That has changed in the last 3 years. We have taken all our semifinals and finals to afternoons to night, and it has been a tremendous success. The crowds are there to prove it. Because even when you watch National League play cricket sometimes, 2 of our top teams, Queen's Park, might be playing PowerGen, and you might find 20 people watching. So once we reach the quarterfinal and semifinal stage, we move it out of daytime, more into evening. We have ample lights in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, of course, we'll have to discuss that with the deck now, so that we get the extra hours. But it's there, and we are making use of it. So on behalf of secondary school, let me welcome Flow to our family. I can assure you, Ms. Gatt and the other members of Flow, that you will be treated like family. We truly understand the effort you are making towards the holistic development of our children, and we appreciate it, and we promise to do the best we can to ensure that our students benefit from it. What will happen, therefore, is that with this new sponsorship, more children in secondary schools will be playing cricket. Our aim at secondary school is always, number one, mass participation. We'll now be able to reach out to more schools, to more children across Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that more of them can come aboard, because we can provide more coaching to school, more coaches to school, and more opportunities for those who can afford to even help with the uniforms and so on, so they can actually come out and play. We have not forgotten, however, that cricket is now a career, and hence the reason why we are focusing so much more on girls cricket. The boys have had their chance, and we see what it has done with our national cricketers. We have many millionaires now. If you pull up by the cricket ball when it have practice, you wonder where you are. It's only Range Rovers and Mercedes, and I tell you, you have to go down there and take a look. Ask Darren when the national team is practicing. What we want That's when the men team is practicing. What we want is when Anissa and Brittany and they are practicing in drive up, you'll also see some Range Rovers and some Mercedes and so on there. Isn't that so, Anissa? So we want to give our girls as well the same opportunity as the boys had. We spend a lot of time of technical analysis, and I've been told recently, and I hope it do come to pass, and this is very important, that very soon we are going to have a Caribbean Premier League women's competition. And therefore, if that happens, of course, when you see Anissa next time, in 2 years' time, she'll be driving something different. But a lot of the girls who are here now can aspire to that. And we at secondary school will provide the opportunity for that. This year was very historic for Trinidad and Tobago. We won the most regional tournaments we have ever won. But I want to focus on the boys under 15, under 17, half of the under 19, and the girls under 19. We won all those regional tournaments. And secondary school, of course, primary school is where it starts, but we all know who are parents and who teachers, what is happening with SCA. It's a murderous thing. And with the movement of the SCA exam further back, it has more or less, it's strangled sports in primary school. So what happens is that is why girls, I mentioned girls Form 1 to 3, and boys under 14. That is our target now, of where we actually get children to play. Children don't play in primary school much anymore. We try to encourage them to play in secondary school. And therefore, what will happen now with this sponsorship, you all wouldn't understand how important the sponsorship is for those lower forms. It really is. And what will happen now is that we'll be able to reach out to those students even more, to provide the opportunities for them so they can marry their sports and education. And for those who have the ability and wish to move on to greater heights in the sport, we can provide the opportunity for them and the training through the technical analysis program. And now that we have the funding to provide proper equipment for the girls' hardball and so on, that more coaching can take place, more analysis can take place, and we can help our girls so that in the future, not only this year will be exceptional, but years from now, as we move ahead, every year, Trinidad and Tobago will be really winning not only junior regional titles, but also the senior titles. So we at secondary school have played a great part in the success that was enjoyed this year in the regional titles that was enjoyed by the Trinidad and Tobago cricket teams, and we intend with this sponsorship and the one that we have already from PowerGen to continue to work, to build on those, and to provide greater opportunities for our students. Once again, let me say how heartful and thankful and gracious we are from Secondary Schools Cricket League for Flo to coming on board with us as our new corporate sponsor. Let me again thank the media for your presence here this morning. We really appreciate when you can highlight the positive. As I don't know if you have heard this before, but it's something very common that if you ever when you ever take up a newspaper, you can't do it in the news because the news start with whatever they start. But when you take up a newspaper, start from the back. There's always something positive. I could guarantee you that. Don't start from the front. Get some positive thoughts in your head and then look in front to see what is happening. But with Flo on board and other corporate sponsors on board, we are sure that what is happening in front can change and will change. What we need is the dedicated effort of the people at the top in the governments to make the effort necessary and have the will to change, which we don't have. And for West Indies cricket to turn the corner, we have been turning the corner for a very long time. It's efforts like this that will turn the corner, not what we have now. It will take 10 years for you to reach at the top. These are the students who will get it there. And I can tell you, as we dominate T20 now, with the sponsorship of Flo and PowerGen, eventually our players in Trinidad will be the one who will be representing West Indies in mass numbers when we do turn the corner. Let me take the opportunity to wish everyone a very happy Diwali and do enjoy the best of this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahabir. I can say that, I've been doing this for a little while, and it's very refreshing and very heartening to hear the clarity of the vision that Mr. Mahabir is speaking to with regard to the development of cricket and with regard to the investment that Flo is making. coming from inside Flow, I know we're a very competitive company. We like to win, and definitely I can see that spirit is embodied in the secondary schools cricket league as well. So this is a really exciting time. I'm really happy to be here to host this occasion, and I just wanted to mention as well and to recognize Brittany Cooper did actually come in. She slipped in a little earlier. Brittany, if you can just stand so that we can recognize you, and thank you very much. She was trying to keep a low profile. And while you were speaking, one of our Flow Sports ambassadors, we're lucky to have Andrew Lewis here in Trinidad, so he was able to drop by this morning. So Andrew, just wanted to say welcome and thank you for coming as well. We're honored and proud as well to have, like I said, Darren Ganga and Anissa Mohammed here with us as well. And they are both going to speak this morning a little bit from the players' perspective about what the secondary school league and this type of sponsorship can do for cricket. Both of them would have come through the secondary schools cricket league. And Anissa, you know, Darren, all props to you, but Anissa, as a female standing up here today, I'm so proud of you and what you've achieved. So I'd like to invite Darren first to come, and then Anissa to speak to you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lezama. I heard you earlier say that you've fallen out of love with the sport of cricket. I'd just like to advise you that there's a fine line between love and hate, so we can get you back into loving the sport of cricket. Good morning, everyone, members of the head table, Mrs. Cindy Ann Gant, Director of Marketing at Flow, the President of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, Mrs. Surjat Mahabir, you know, our famous West Indies women's cricketer, Miss Anissa Mohammed, and might I just add, she holds the record for the most T20 international wickets as well, so she's a record-breaking performer. Mr. Nigel Maraj, a member of the executive of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, members of the executive of the Secondary Schools Cricket League. I know we have a lot of prominent sporting personalities within our midst. Mr. Lewis, our Olympic representative in the sport of sailing. Brittany, Dinanath Ramnarayan, a lot of former players. The president himself, a former Trinidad and Tobago player, if you all didn't know. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, and most importantly, student cricketers. This morning is really a proud moment for me, sitting here and looking at the next cohort of Trinidad and Tobago and possibly West Indian cricketers. When I was at secondary school, I had the privilege and honor of being a part of this league, and I'm actually a product of what this league churned out back then. This league continues to grow, and today, I'd just like to focus on 3 points. And the first will be on you, the student cricketers. I've had the privilege and opportunity of playing international cricket from a very young age. In fact, whilst I was still at secondary school, I was already playing for the West Indies team. And that in itself posed a lot of challenges for me personally as a young cricketer. And I want you to know that despite the fact that you will have the opportunity to play secondary school cricket, it doesn't limit you from striving to achieve bigger goals. And nothing is stopping you, and I say you, both in terms of the boys and the girls, from elevating yourself and going on to play for Trinidad and Tobago and possibly West Indies as well. So ensure that you use this level of cricket not just to excel and to define yourself and to harness your talent, but obviously to see it as a stepping stone for greater things. The other thing I'd like to share with you today is, although I had an unquenchable thirst to play international cricket, even when I was at secondary school and even at primary school, I never neglected my academics. And if it's one thing I'd ask you to continue to do, if you're not doing it already, is to balance your cricket with your academics. Because, as you have already heard, they say there's life after sport. And it's very important for you to recognize that your time and your stay at secondary school will not come again. So, as much as you want to be the best cricketer, you must also strive to be the best student. And that is very critical because in the sport of cricket and in any sphere of life, you can't switch on and switch off so easily. So if you're developing the right work ethic for the sport of cricket, you must employ that in your academics as well. You must employ that in your social life as well. You must employ that in every aspect of your life. And then you would realize that you're living a life of success. So you have a wonderful opportunity to be part and parcel of the Secondary Schools Cricket League. I think, a lot of you don't recognize how fortunate you are. One of the things that really worked for me when I was a secondary school cricketer was the fact that I never compared myself with my peers in my school or even in the league that I played in within Trinidad. I looked at myself as a secondary school cricketer internationally. And that is something that I'd like to share with you today, that you have a responsibility, you have an opportunity, and your competition is not your classmate or your teammate or a competitor from another secondary school here in Trinidad and Tobago. You must see yourself as a global secondary school cricketer. And that is going to shape, that is going to expose your mind and expose your attitude towards wanting to be the best from a very young age. And it will put you in very good stead for the future. The second thing that I'd like to do and touch on today is obviously to congratulate the Secondary Schools Cricket League, the president, Mr. Mahabir. I think over the years we've seen a transition in the Secondary School Cricket League in terms of the administration of Secondary Schools Cricket League and the way you have operated as a body to the executive members. Part of your success has been the diversity that you have shown in the administration of the game, not just for the boys, and I heard the plans that Mr. Mahabir and his team has with regard to women's cricket. And as we all know, that's an aspect and a component of the international game that is constantly growing, that is constantly expanding. And we have had, and proudly so, we've had a lot of players from right here in Trinidad and Tobago who have gone on to make us proud. Most recently, our women's team, and that's the West Indies women's team, would have won the ICC Women's World Cup. And I think, the impact of our Trinidad and Tobago cricketers, the impact that it has had in terms of women's cricket, we must continue to support women's cricket and to ensure that it is sustainable in terms of producing top quality international players. So I commend the Secondary Schools Cricket League on its proactive approach towards the administration of the game. I also would like to commend the Secondary Schools Cricket League for being a trailblazer, so to speak, in terms of the administration of the game. Most recently, as an executive body and as an institution, you would have made certain decisions in line with good governance and best practice. You have, as an organization, gotten rid of your outgoing votes, and as an autonomous body, which is an affiliate of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, I challenge you to continue to look towards administering and ensuring that your operations are in line with best practice, because it is important for us to understand that whatever we do administratively redound to the benefit of the student cricketers and all the stakeholders in our cricket. And you, Secondary Schools Cricket League, you play a very critical role in terms of the roadmap for development in the sport of cricket. We must, and I say we, as persons who are interested in the development of the game of cricket, we must continue, to challenge each other to be the best that we can be. We must ensure that there is a clear roadmap for success and a clear roadmap for development of young cricketers. Mr. Mahabir spoke about what is happening in terms of the primary school level. We must ensure that from primary school to secondary school to tertiary level to first class level, it's a clear roadmap that will give our young cricketers the best chance of developing, the best chance of being the best that they can be. And it's not only about driving a Range Rover or Mercedes-Benz. That's the nice side of the sport. For most of you who would have played the sport would recognize that it comes with a lot of sacrifices. It comes with a lot of hard work. It comes with, things that you might not want to put yourself through, but at the end of the day, driving the nice cars, being able to afford the nicer things in life, that's just one aspect of it. All right, so to the Secondary Schools Cricket League, I applaud you today for attracting such a prestigious sponsor. I challenge you to continue to seek information that will encourage the organization to sustain itself and to administer the sport in line with best practice and good governance. And lastly, my focus has to be on flow. And I speak on the perspective of also being a family member of the flow institution. You guys continue to display your commitment towards the development of sport in Trinidad and Tobago. In this particular instance, you are showing your commitment towards cricket and secondary schools cricket in particular. This is very vital for the development of the game. I must say, as a sponsor, you've defined yourself in terms of what you've invested in and your commitment to professionalism and your commitment towards nation building here in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to also ask you to, ensure as a sponsor that your investment is not just an investment given to an institution, but you also take a keen interest in ensuring that your investment redound to the benefit of the persons who are supposed to get this benefit. And I speak in this instance about our secondary school students, the teachers, the stakeholders who commit, countless hours towards the development of the game, mostly in terms of a volunteer basis. And I say, you as a sponsor, and I speak in terms of sport, if we collectively want to change the culture of sport in Trinidad and Tobago, we must all take a keen interest in terms of what happens at all levels of sport in Trinidad and Tobago. And as a sponsor, you've already given your commitment towards sponsoring the Secondary Schools Cricket League, having this being a versatile program that will encourage the development of female cricketers. But I also want you to ensure that the Secondary Schools Cricket League use that investment in the right way. And as sponsors, and I speak for sport generally, we must ensure that we have a responsibility to know and to ensure that our investment is really getting down towards the persons who require it. I've been a beneficiary of it. I've had numerous sponsors throughout my entire career support me personally and support the institutions that were responsible for my development. And I'd like to continue to call upon Trinidad and Tobago to continue to support the development of sport. And in closing, whilst we will have Flow lead the effort to sponsor the Secondary School Cricket League, I want you to also recognize that there's a famous saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, and I think that is exactly what we're trying to achieve here, if you want to go far, we must all go together. So today, I give my commitment towards the support of the Secondary Schools Cricket League. I also applaud and commend Flow for its investment. And I hope that you, the young cricketers and all the teachers and the beneficiaries of this type of investment will see us celebrating a lot of successful cricketers, a lot of successful human beings in the future, just like Anisa Mohammed and all the other young cricketers. So thank you very much. Congratulations again, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Darren. Anisa?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. All protocols established. I am very happy to be part of this very special occasion. I started off playing cricket at the secondary school level, and I know how very important this can be for us as young people growing up in the society today. Secondary school cricket plays a big part in the holistic development in our young children. And I just want to say to Flo that I'm really, really happy to see you all taking the initiative to sponsor girls cricket. I understand that your sponsorship will now be having a hardball cricket league. I wish I was lucky as some of these young ladies here. I'm happy to say that I'm a product of secondary school cricket, and I've gone on to represent Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies women's cricket team, along with Brittany Cooper and Marissa Aguilera, Stacey Ann King. Secondary school cricket is responsible for a lot of our female cricketers, Marissa included, and once we had to go down to Moruga, and I was like, way, how did they find you down here? And she was like, secondary school cricket. Secondary school cricket plays a big part in the development of our young children, and I am happy to be part of this development. Hopefully, I'm able to help inspire our young generation and not just create more Anisa Mohammed or Brittany Cooper, but even better cricketers. Darren spoke about being your own competition, and I'm very happy that he said that because I was about to talk about that as well. When I was growing up, I was often asked, who do you want to be like? And I would always say, Steve Waugh and Darren Ganga. And they would ask why, and my answer would be very simple. They are great leaders, and I want to be a great leader one day. And then the next question would be, but what about a bowler? You're a bowler. And I'd be like, yeah, but I want to be like myself. I want to be someone else. I don't want to be, Harbhajan Singh. They're their own individuals, and I want to be myself. I never wanted to be like anyone else. I wanted to make a name for myself, and I hope that we have a lot of cricketers here with that vision. Having said that, I would like to wish Flo and secondary school cricket all the best. I hope we have a lot more greater cricketers, because as Darren said and myself, we were part of this, and hopefully we can have greater things coming out of secondary school cricket, and not just representing Trinidad, but also West Indies, and making us proud and continue to put us on that map out there. So all the best, and I look forward to being part of this initiative.
Thank you very much, Anisa, and thank you again, Darren, for all of those words to the kids that are here. If it's one thing I've learned, it's that, the thing about heroes is that you think you have to look at people who may have existed or who are really older, that kind of thing. And what I see here is that with people like Darren and Anisa, and even with Andrew Lewis here, there are heroes that are existing right now. There are people who inspire that are here, that are accessible, and we have to. And the great thing about modern times with the technology is that they are so accessible. I mean, there are YouTube videos that exist with them saying whatever they say to inspire people. So, I mean, it's there not just for the young people, but it's really there for all of us to access. So thank you so much for coming, guys, and for speaking. At this time, I'd like to invite Flo's Director of Marketing to speak with you, Ms. Cindy Ann Gatt. Just a quick thing about Cindy. Cindy is a true Trini sports fan, herself and her family. And through her kids, I know she's involved, and she knows a lot about sports and what's going on with the cricket and the football and everything like that. And I really don't know how she does it, because when she's at work, she's all flow and flow marketing, and this is what we're doing and everything like that. But there's always a minute at the beginning of the meeting or something like that she has a comment about what's topical and what's going on and everything like that. So be it sports or politics or anything like that. So I know that in Cindy, Flo's sponsorship has a great champion in terms of building the relationship between the secondary schools cricket league and between Flo. So, Cindy.
Thank you, Samantha. Good morning, Mr. Suraj Das Mahabir, President of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, and other members of the executive of the Secondary Schools Cricket League, current and former cricketers for Trinidad and Tobago, and the West Indies, Ms. Anisa Mohammed, Ms. Brittany Cooper, Mr. Darren Ganga, Mr. Dinanath Ramnarin, Mr. Andrew Lewis, Flo Sport Ambassador and Trinidad and Tobago Olympian, students and teachers of the schools represented today, colleagues from Flo, members of the media, good morning. So I'm going to ask you one small necessary indulgence. I want to begin by quoting the words from Dwayne Bravo's now famous world anthem, Champion. So can you help me? Yeah, I can't sing, huh? I'm not tomorrow. So champion, champion, champion. Everybody know Bravo is a champion. Everybody know Chris Gale is a champion. Everybody know Brian Lara is a champion. And now I want to add my part. Everybody know Darren Ganga is a champion. Everybody know Anisa is a champion. And through the SSCL, we will come to know the champions of the future, who are here today. I'm sure you all get the picture. You see, it is programs like these, programs like the Secondary Schools Cricket League, that are the genesis of tomorrow's champions. Programs such as these identify and develop our Laras, our Bravos, and our Gangers of the future. This is why we at FLU have committed $1.2 million to the support and financing of the work of the SSCL over the next 3 years. Many of our young girls and boys will find their way out of crime, complacency, hopelessness, to a place where they can learn life lessons and are able to develop their God-given talent on the cricket field. We are truly proud to be associated with this most worthy champion developing initiative. Earlier this year, we were approached by the Secondary Schools Cricket League to discuss the possibility of supporting the development of cricket programs for under 14 girls and boys. I used to play cricket, but I used to play cricket in the beach in Mayaro, where I grew up. I wasn't champion quality, but I had a lot of fun playing cricket. We were immediately interested in contributing and supporting not only in cash, but in kind. There's been an ongoing debate, both locally and regionally, about the survival of programs such as these. We are all aware of the difficulties faced by our young talent as compared to their counterparts in developed countries. Given the need for programs such as these and the significant contribution made to nation building and youth development, we could not resist. We had to say yes. Let me just add a little more context here. As you're already aware, FLU has become much more deeply involved in sports in Trinidad and Tobago and the region. Within the past year, we've launched FLU Sports, a regional entity dedicated to airing local and regional sporting content and to showcasing our people's sporting talent. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have forged close working relationships with the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, the Trinidad and Tobago Volleyball Federation, the TT Pro League, and we also sponsor championship car racing, triathlons, and fitness racing, all to develop sport locally. It's also to give an avenue for our future champions to see themselves on TV to build their brand. Our sponsorship of the Secondary Schools Cricket League will pertain specifically to the girls' lower school program and the boys' under 14 program for a period of 3 years starting from this year. This falls in line with our continued policy to provide not just cash or kind support, but actually working actively towards building strong, positive relationships with our partners and implementing agencies. In addition to the programs listed above, we'll be supporting the girls' hardball interzone competition and will also provide equipment for the technical analysis program. Our $1.2 million investment will be used to cover the hosting of competitions, purchase of equipment, and various training programs. And yes, we are definitely committed to making sure everything happens that we are committing to today. We're particularly excited about the possibility of increasing girls' participation in the support. The structure of that program has evolved from an under 15 format to the girls' lower school format, which covers forms 1 to 3. Our partners at the Secondary Schools Cricket League are confident that this will result in a larger number of schools participating and being involved in the competitions. We are hopeful and confident that more than the traditional cricket playing schools will come forward to participate. In closing, I'd like to thank the team at the Secondary Schools Cricket League for offering FLU this wonderful opportunity to partner with them in the development of cricket in Trinidad and Tobago. Each sport that we have gotten involved in brings its share of passionate persons who live and breathe the sport, and this is no different. We are impressed and emboldened by the strong history of this league, which has existed since the 1960s, and has seen the birth and development of such major talents such as Mr. Ganga, Miss Brittany, Miss Anissa, Miss Brittany. We thank you for attending today, as your support is critical as we give space and a voice to schools and the young people participating in this league. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Cindy. We're happy to have representatives from some of the schools who are part of the league present today. I'd like to give a special welcome. I think we have students from Caripichaima East Secondary, yes? We have students as well from Success Laventil Secondary School. And Mukarapo, do we have representatives from Mukarapo here? Yes, great, welcome. I also have a couple on my list. I'm not sure if they're here though. Holy Name Convent, anybody? Yes, great. And from Fatima College as well? Yes? Thank you so much for coming. We really are happy that you all are here to represent the kids who are going to be impacted by this league. And I'd also like to give now a special welcome to the students I mentioned at the start from the Carapichaima East Secondary School. They're going to do a short skit here to underscore the significance of the partnership that for Trinidad and Tobago and for cricket. So I'd like to invite those students now. So we'll just give them a minute to set up if you need it, yes?
So you play boys are throwing first person in the SSCL hardball yet as well. Yes, it's 3 years now that the SSCL have had years hardball tournament and we now get an sponsor in close. You watch the next Marissa. Brittany here. Champion, 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 champion. Elle is a champion.
Who is a champion?
Who is a
champion?
So where's she going?
Boy, I'm moving with Flo too. Flo also sponsored the SSCL Hills Lower Development Cricket Program.
What is that?
You know what that is?
You mean girl in the SSCL Technical Analysis Program too?
Yes, and in a few years, I will be spinning the World Cup. I'll be spinning the World Cup just like Anita.
Secondary Schools Cricket League and Flow empowering all nations, children and creating future cricket stars.
Join us. Watch.
So, click.
So from a flow perspective, we really love that. Thank you very much. I'm definitely going to be taking that clip and sharing it for all our staff. We have 850 staff members, and they're going to be seeing that later today or tomorrow. So thank you very much, Carapichaima East Secondary School. Thank you. And at this time, we wanted to offer the media, if they had any questions at this point in time. We have the members of the Secondary School Cricket League here to answer. We have Cindy as well. So yeah.
So Sean, throughout the Caribbean, what we actually do is we work with our sponsored parties. Flow Trinidad is actually quite fortunate. We actually have a partnership with Wii Sports where we support their efforts and we ensure that a lot of local sporting initiatives are broadcast. And we also have our partnership with Flow Sports where we discuss with them and see if we can actually provide content. So those are actually our two avenues. We do want to cover more of the local games so that we can make sure Trinidad and Tobago is exposed to our future champions.
One question.
Sorry?
Okay, let me just add first that our Facebook page, we have highlights of games. Again, we tape games and we put very good highlights. The guy who does it is right there on his side, two of our JTs. This is fantastic. We still have power gen, but the funding was limited in terms of just more, say, competitions. More of this funding will be used for development and for taking mass participation, first of all, and for development. So we expect my goal as president when I started was to double the amount of children actually playing cricket. I think we can triple that now and to spend more on development. So as I say, in addition to the kids pursuing their academics, which is priority, and we always tell them that, we also see cricket as a career. And with this funding, we'll be able to take it further to ensure that those who have the ability, that we can identify them and help them to move forward into careers in cricket. Of course, the hardball is the way forward for the girls. We have always had the softball, but it was always our dream to go into hardball. We started 3 years ago, and it has been a real struggle financially. I mean, the treasurer must be quarrel how many times about what we are doing and why we're doing it, because we're not getting the funding, and it's putting a strain on him to balance his book. But now I can assure him that it will be a lot easier, because this funding will enable us to really reach out there and do the hardball in a way that we can and really help the girls to move forward. The hardball girls starts next month. Preparation starts next month. We have already told the zones to get their houses in order. Actually, it's the first competition we are starting. Last year, we had a problem where we keep postponing because of exams, and then we were washed out by the rain. We're definitely not going to have that happen this year. We are starting in November with the girls' hardball. They begin training. We now have the money to buy the equipment, which we didn't have before. We can now pay a stipend to the coaches so we can get them out, the coaches and the manager. So that is starting first. The other two competitions, the boys under 14 will start in January, and the girls will be in the second term. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you very much for your questions. And I just want to tell the media that Mr. Mahabir and Ms. Gat, as well as hopefully Darren and Lisa as well, can stay back, and they're available for questions and one-on-one interviews afterwards. At this time, we're about to close off the event, but before we close, I would like to invite Mr. Ravindra Ramnanan, who's the PRO for the Secondary Schools Cricket League, to offer a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Lazama. All protocols observed. Pleasant morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all tell you all that I'm very honored to be asked to do the vote of thanks on such a historic occasion, the sponsorship of Flow for a 3-year period to the Secondary Schools Cricket League. So thank you, Flo, through the marketing manager, Miss Cindy Ann Gatt. Let me start by saying what a wonderful job and how professional the Master of Ceremonies carried on today's program, Ms. Lazama. we do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thanks to the employee from Flow who did the national anthem, to Mr. Nigel Maraj for doing today's prayer. I'd also like to thank our President, Mr. Surajat Mabir, for doing the welcome address, as he spoke about more opportunities now for students at the different age groups, the under 14 age group for boys and the Form 1 to 3 for girls. He also spoke about mass participation, and we are sure with this sponsorship, there would be a twofold increase in the amount of students now participating in the league's competition. And he also spoke about the same opportunities for girls. So maybe later on we see a girls' intercol competition just as the boys would have their intercol competition. We might also see a Premier League. So this is just the foundation for it. So thank you, Mr. Mabir. Thank you to Mr. both our, for want of a better term, celebrities, my good friend, Mr. Ganga and Ms. Mohammed. Mr. Ganga spoke about the importance of balancing academics and sports, which, as we all know, is extremely important, and life after sports. And he himself is a living testimony of life after sports, as he heads the Sports and Leisure Department in UTT, and he also has a bachelor's degree in law. So, and we hope that other students who also excel and reach that level, taking part at the regional level or international level, would be able to, would do likewise as Mr. Ganga. Ms. Mohammed spoke about the importance, how fortunate you all are that you all have the opportunity now to take part in inter-zone competition and actually play hardball cricket. She didn't have that competition, and as Darren Ganga and the Life After Sports, we know he's the #1 commentator now, told us she has the record for the most T20 wickets. So imagine the opportunities you all would have getting into hardball at an early age. And thank you to Ms. Gatt again for sponsoring this competition, and in your address outlining what is expected and the different programs. And as usual, thanks to the members of the media again for supporting secondary schools cricket, and by extension supporting national development and youth development by highlighting programs such as these and the achievement of our youths. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all the students who have made it possible to be here today for today's launch of the Flow sponsorship, especially the students from Kapichaima Secondary, who I realize have done a wonderful audition and in front of the marketing manager too. So maybe we might see them on TV, and Darren Ganga spoke about career in sports. So advertisement is also a career. So if I did miss out anybody, I do apologize, but thanks again, and I'll now pass you on to the Master of Ceremonies to take you through the rest of this morning's program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramnanan. At this point, we're at the end of this morning's proceedings. I just want to, again, on behalf of everyone here this morning, thank you all for coming. We do have some refreshments at the back of the room, so you would be able to help yourselves. Thank you very much for coming, and I just wanted to say good luck and best of luck to the Secondary Schools Cricket League and to the competition that will be starting soon. We really appreciate you.